If you believe in religion, you think help is going to come from where? From God. If you're communist, you think help is going to come from action. You're not asking here and going like, we're going to have a meeting and doing strikes and taking ownership. It can't be for him both. Either history is matter in motion, history of production, or God's in charge. It can't be both. So the idea here for the Marxists is that religion is a symptom of a problem. And the answer is solve the problem, religion simply goes away. So that's Marx's end. Solve the social problem. Inequality, lack of education, poverty. Solve those issues, religion will go away. It's about changing all of society. Away from profit for the minority to social good of the majority. Marx says is that liberalism is like in charge, but really what's in charge is capitalism, money side. This is an illusion. You can vote for whatever you want, but you will not get rid of capitalism. Liberalism is the shill game for capitalism, and that no amount of laws and rights are going to protect you. But the only way to get power is to rise up, and you take power. You don't ask for it, you don't negotiate for it. You go to your factory, you tell your boss, look off, I'm not working today. You strike, you organize into armies, and you fight. So Marxism, the left-wing idea here, is fundamentally one in which religion is a problem that needs to be solved through social revolution. Religion is simply a symptom of a problem solved by social revolution. When I say that fascism as an idea isn't really that coherent, this is a mess. The word fascism actually comes from the word fascis. A fascis is this symbol here, right? Some sticks balled together with an axe inside. It was an old Roman symbol of power. Sticks cut down by the very axe that cut them down. The ability to lay something low. So when Mussolini developed it, he developed this idea of fascism in the aftermath of World War I. The truth be told, fascism is not a coherent political philosophy. German fascism, Italian fascism, American fascism, Israeli fascism, they all look different. Internally, they all look different. There's Catholic fascism and anti-Catholic fascism. It's a mess of an ideology. First and foremost is the state. State is what matters. Almost always the concept of the state tied to either an ethnic idea or it's tied to some other kind of othering, which just means that in order for you to know that you're a real Italian, you have to know who is not a real Italian. What you have to end up doing is you have to end up othering someone. And so sometimes this takes the form of racism. So for instance, in Nazi Germany, the big other for them was the Jew. Jew is the problem. We must annihilate the Jews, and that is the way we solve this. What you have here is that part of how fascism works is there has to be a group that is privileged and a group that is diminished. And when you get, for instance, in Nazi Germany, ein Staat, ein Gott, ein Volk. One state, one God, one people, ein Führer, one leader. And the idea is that you bring everyone around the idea of the state, and the state is the idea of what should reign supreme. Furthermore, you actually link the state with corporate power. There is a combination of really powerful industry, so resources, industry, the military, and religion, we'll see, in the state. So everything serves the state. But the idea is that corporate power becomes the same with state power. Another idea that's pretty common in fascism is a concept called palingenesis. Palingenesis means to be reborn. What happened after World War I is a lot of countries got embarrassed. Germany got embarrassed because it lost the war. And they had to pay enormous reparations to France, the Treaty of Versailles. Bankrupted the country. Now, the truth be told, Germany actually did well during the war. The front never reached into German borders. How did we lose this war if we never lost an inch? Germany was shamed after the war. They were completely broken after the war. After they lost these wars, you have an idea in Germany and in Italy that liberalism betrayed us. We voted for these governments. They were supposed to make us great, and they all failed. We lost these wars. We were embarrassed on the world stage. Liberalism and modernity is not the solution. We need to look back into our history to when we were powerful, and let's go back to that. And so for Italy, it was, let's become like ancient Rome again. Mussolini wanted to build a new Roman Empire. We don't need to try to imagine a better future. Marxism always thinks about the future. Fascism always thinks about the past. We need to go back in time and relive the glory days. Make the country great again. What you're really saying is, we don't like the way things are now, and all these people have gotten all these rights and stuff, we need to roll that back, and we'll go back to the glory days. This palingenesis idea, again, is very backwards looking, very romantic looking. Also, fascism is all about gender roles. Women being women, and men being men, and women's job is to stay in the home and make babies. So one of the things the Nazis repealed very quickly was voting rights for women. And again, when you push something down, try out the other side. Communism, all the gender stuff is flat. Work is work. If you work in a factory and you work in a factory, work is work. Everybody has to fight for the same thing. Let's talk about religion and fascism. Part of the way that fascism sees liberalism is that liberalism underneath the hood of it all is fundamentally a kind of atheism. Because that's effectively what it requires you to be. As a congressperson, you technically have to be an atheist, right? At least agnostic. Now, privately you can believe what you want, but you can't pass laws based on your religious belief. And what they think has happened is that you abandon any moral center. And if you allow all these people to vote, right, African American people and gay people and trans people, Jews, they muddy up the state. The state becomes confused to its identity. And because the state becomes confused, it becomes weak. Diversity is weakness for them. You need to purify the state. You need to remove all that. You have to reestablish a moral identity. Now, what's the easiest way to establish a moral identity? Yeah, incorporate religion. You're not going to incorporate any religion. You're only going to incorporate a state-sponsored version of the religion. This means that your first obligation is to the state, so you're first a German, but then you can be a Catholic, or a Lutheran, or whatever. Deutschland über alles. Deutschland above everything. Now, there were lots of Catholics in Nazi Germany. The problem with Catholics may secretly answer to the church or to the bishops of Rome. So there's an uneasiness right here. Very slowly, what was happening inside of the Nazi Party was they were retooling Christianity to become a kind of new religion, Germanic, pagan Christianity. So religion, unlike in communism, religion is seen as a symptom of disease that social progress will cure. For the fascists, social progress is the disease, and religion is a way of curing it. I've been into a church, right, where the back of the pew has a Bible, a hymn book, or whatever. In Germany, guess what was there? A Bible and a copy of Mein Kampf, Hitler's book. You could be religious, but this is really also there. With Hitler and Mussolini and Francisco Franco and other kinds of fascist leaders, is that things centers around them and their representatives of the state. And that anything that fights against the state has to be destroyed. So homogeneity is a huge component of how this works. Both communism and fascism both reject liberalism. The fascists want to re-inject religion back into the state, but on their own terms. They don't want religion having its own independent existence. It simply becomes an organ of the state. Communism wants to see religion go away. Fascism wants to see religion being used as part of the state. For liberalism, you have both and they balance each other somehow. It's Spinoza says religion is a way of social control, and the fascists say, yes please, absolutely want social control. And we want to control every aspect of life. And Nazi Germany, because they wanted you to produce blonde-haired, blue-eyed children, pure. And people pumped out these kids. And you got the Baby Hitler Award for having all these Aryan kids. And how do you get racial purity? You get rid of the Jews, the black people, or whatever, and you breed the certain kind of people you want. It is a philosophy that says we will purify our country through murder. Liberalism wants to do the impossible. It's a noble aim. Liberalism says we can have a state that treats everyone equal under the law and gives you the right and the ability to be religious in the way that's fit for you. Doesn't work perfectly, there are problems. Communism wants to push liberalism completely away in the direction that they think will eliminate inequality. Because just because you have the right to get a job doesn't mean that we're going to ensure that you're going to get one. But in communism it says, no, everyone will have a job. Everyone will produce. We'll retool all of society to make it so that it works. Fascism says, yeah, you'll get a job, but your job will be to serve the state. And that's just men. Women will not get jobs. Their job is to make babies. And for fascism, religion is used as a tool of social control. And the Marxists, by the way, went out of control in the Soviet Union. Blew up churches and destroyed synagogues. And if you were caught worshiping Christianity, you could be arrested. Religion will pass away. They're like, we are going to make it pass away. Religious repression in the Soviet Union, there's no doubt about it. This is a spectrum of belief. Either you incorporate it and use it to wield power, or you try to limit it completely to make it play no role, or you try to do the liberal game. And the trouble with the liberal game is, it seems like the liberal game is always going to be a balancing act that's always going to be out of balance.